And welcome back to Bold and Body. It's great to be back. This is Lena D.
And this is Maddie.
Did you miss us?
Of course I missed
I ain't missed none of them.
Oh,
It's
wow.
Wesley.
Wesley, nobody asked for your opinion.
Notice how we started without even acknowledging it.
It's Wesley holding it down. I had to hold it down 2 weeks before, and I'm still holding it down to this day. This wouldn't
because
be
we got
shit
a lot
without
of
me,
letters
like I said
about
before.
What is y'all doing? You need to come back. Who gave Wesley this mic?
It's like, wait, it's just Wesley. It was just like, oh, okay. That was different.
They love me. All right, so whatever. Don't matter. So I had to hold it down. It was all good.
Yes, Wesley. I guess we'll feed into your like narcissistic
That's right.
nature over there.
I don't know about that.
That's right.
I don't know about that.
That's right.
Well, how was it holding it down? It seems like you really have a lot to say about it. So why don't you tell us about it then?
It was all right. You know,
Oh, okay.
I just do my
You about
thing.
to be Justin Timberlake and go solo on us?
I don't know. I'm thinking.
Yeah, but to
You
that
ain't Justin.
I'm definitely not Justin. Hell no.
But to that topic about working insane, because that's kind of what happened. Like there was just a lot going on, and Maddie and I couldn't just be around to record the last episode. So I'm glad Wesley stepped it up. But the three of us have actually been going through a lot of craziness at work.
Foolishness.
Like
Not craziness. Foolishness. Tomfoolery.
Yeah. Like it's just been crazy. Like to the point where the fact that it's crazy, it's so crazy that it doesn't like even bother you anymore. Like I'm just at that point where it's just like, okay, it's just another day.
Where you're numb to it. And
Yeah.
it's just like, no, this shouldn't be okay, but I just have to power through this.
It's like the new normal, because if you don't normalize it, then it's like you're
fail.
stressing yourself out way too much about it. And so it doesn't just seem to be the three of us. Like I've also talked to other friends and just overhearing people just talk about how insane things are. It's like a lot. It's like a big period of change too. Like a lot of people have recently switched jobs or they're looking to switch jobs. So we thought that it was like a really good time, especially because it's the middle of the year too, and people are starting to think about, okay, like assessing like their goals for the year and like the progress that's been made and what hasn't been made. And so if you're in that situation where you're just like, okay, well, I'm actually on track with what I want to do. It's just that it's a little insane and you kind of need a little bit of motivation. Like we wanted to bring forth an episode that really allowed you to kind of think about tools and ways to keep yourself calm and then continue to work through the madness.
And not cut nobody.
I'm gonna cut everybody.
Bruh.
You shouldn't do that.
So we're
Speak for
gonna.
yourself.
Jeez, Wesley. Like
You
I
know
will.
we're recording this, right?
I will preface
Allegedly.
now. I will preface now that we may want to like take Wesley's advice lightly when it
With
comes
a
to this
grain of
situation.
salt. Because he about to have y'all real fucked up in these streets.
Yeah, please don't cut nobody. And P.S. Y'all didn't hear this shit over here.
Like,
Why are you running? Why are you running?
He's just gonna pretend he never
if
said
you heard
anything.
I
anything,
ain't
you
saying
heard
nothing.
Maddie and Lena
You
D
allegedly heard
explicitly
that.
say we are not condoning this kind of behavior. That's what you heard.
I don't know.
Maddie and Lena D explicitly do not condone this behavior.
And Wesley allegedly.
Wesley allegedly did it.
Yeah,
He's just gonna say it wasn't his voice.
right.
How you know?
We know you very well. This is not a mystery to anybody.
No.
It's not.
No, it's all right.
But
All right, so Lena D, tell us what's happening.
geez.
With
So what isn't
This
happening?
tomfoolery.
So the company I work for recently went through a reorg. And by recently, I mean it's been going through the reorg since December.
I was about to say, it's like this is from what you first told me about. I'm like, that's not recent, girl.
Exactly.
They should have gotten it together by now.
Exactly. So we've been having this reorg go on now for it's like going on its 6th month and probably a little bit earlier than that because they made the announcement. So then everybody was like on edge about it.
Yeah.
But we finally have moved and shifted things where they're supposed to be. So that took about
Finally.
3 or 4 months for the actual changes to come through. And then it was the weirdest. Well, it's the first time that I've worked at a place where during a reorg, there isn't a clear vision of what the reorg is going to look like once the changes go in place, which is insane.
I'd like to just give a quick sidebar. Lena D works for a major company.
Yeah.
You don't work for some like 2-man shop, like someone who's working or created a company out of their garage or something. Like, this is a legit, very large company, and they can't have this basic foolishness together.
And it's just like, well, we're going to go through change. And it's like, well, yeah, but usually you know what you want to change and you have a vision, and then you
don't
kind of like get
change
people.
And then be like, we're going to figure out what the change is going to be later. But
it's
you're
exactly
fired.
What happened.
You're fired.
That's exactly what happened. And so.
Yeah, that's wild.
And it's been just rounds and rounds because like literally depending on where you're in the company, people have just been like, oh yeah, like we're up to speed now. And like some people have been working in their new structure since like March, April. We literally just started working in it early May. And even then it's just like, oh, well, I'll pose the question. And it's like, oh, well, we didn't think about that. So let's figure it out together.
That's ridiculous.
And I was like, shit.
I'm not figuring shit out.
It's like,
I'm the smartest person in this room.
And I was like, really? I was like, this is how we're managing through this? And I was like, okay, well, clearly I'm not getting paid enough. But
Facts.
I think the biggest thing was like the lack of clarity, and it's just been slow. And then all of a sudden now it's like, okay, everybody start working together. There's an element of patience with it, but it's really not the best environment. Like I feel like it could have been managed better. Mm-hmm. And so now as we start operating in this new work structure, it's evident that there's like a lot of anxiety, like other team members have a lot of anxiety. A lot of people are just like not really getting things 100%. Mm-hmm. Like it's like a storm of emotions to kind of deal with, which I usually like just have to take a step back and say, woosah, like this isn't me, like this is the environment. And then I just have to figure out how to operate in that environment. So I would say how it's really been impacting me. It's just been having to reshuffle like my personal life around like all these changes, which really bothers me because I was good with where we were before.
Yeah.
And so it's taken me a little bit longer to just take a step back and say, okay, well, how do I reprioritize what I'm doing? How do I come up with a plan? There's certain things like, you know, having not had the flexibility to record for the podcast. And it was just like, okay, well, it's just going to have to be like this for this one time. And then like, we'll plan better for next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that work starts, and I guess it's like one of those things of like work-life balance. Like it's really not work-life balance, but not having had the foresight because I didn't know what the company wanted to do actually impacted how I would normally want to plan for my own life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is unlike any other sort of like reorg situation I've been in. And so kind of like the good news coming out of it is that I will technically allegedly be getting a promotion.
We're not celebrating until we see them dollars.
Exactly. So,
because we know how these large corporations like to give a promotion. It's just like, no, we're giving you the duties.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that pay later. Like, nah,
and that's
bruh.
exactly what's happening right now. Exactly. See, Maddie
I
already
be
knows.
knowing.
Maddie already knows.
I know that corporate life and that corporate lingo. Like, come on, son.
They're like, well, we're going to, like, you guys are acting senior managers.
Nah.
And like, there's all this shit that has to happen where it's just like, you know, like, this isn't even, like, this is another reason why, like, if I really wanted to see myself here longer term, it's like, the likelihood of that happening is like, I guess I'll keep you kind of in the back of my mind, but not really. So there's like this entire process of like, they have to post the role, then you have to apply for it, then they have to interview at least 2 other people before making a decision that they want to go with you.
Hell no!
It's just like bullshit because I'm like, okay, well, why have I been getting rated and like, you know, assessed like through your performance agreement and like you're doing well and this and that. And it's just like, what's the whole point of that?
You've already had, I'm assuming you've had your annual review by now. Like, all that happens because it's about to be fiscal year end. So that decision should have been made.
Right. it's just like, what kind of plan? Like, obviously there's
I'm mad for you.
Like, it's like not even like the right planning in terms of like talent management. Like,
That's
it's one thing if
crazy.
you don't want to plan for the organization, but you should at least be planning for your talent in a better way.
Literally all of this will crumble and fail without the right talent. What are you doing? You already fired they fired like half of
so they did separation packages, but yeah, they gave people the choice to fire themselves.
What kind of shit is that?
But it was still like what, 30-40%?
Yeah, it was
not half. It was a lot.
It was a lot.
So it's like you let go all of these, or you offered them the ability to leave on their own terms, whatever. So all of these people are in upper management.
Yep.
And now you don't.
It's bullshit. It's just like buffoonery. It's insane.
I told y'all it was tomfoolery. I was
just like, And so
So how are we moving forward?
So the way that it's not staying like this, but like obviously there's like new things that I'm dealing with now. Like now I'm managing a team. I'm having to go to New Jersey one more time than I'm used to. So it's like I used to go once a week. Now I'm going there twice a week, and it's like all this stuff.
You have to go to Jersey.
Yes, it's terrible. Wow. I did not sign up for this.
I'm kind of on the fence because I live there now, but I also work there now. So for me, it was the opposite. I was living in New York and working in Jersey, and then I flipped it, and then I was living in Jersey and working in New York.
Ugh.
So now I'm like living and working in Jersey. So I'm just like, this is great.
You're like, finally, the stars align.
But I feel you on that because NJ tends to be on some foolishness.
And it's like, I have to wake up super early.
Aww.
And then I don't have time to go work out in the morning.
Poor baby.
Which is really impactful on my life.
Oh my God, I love Chipotle. Chipotle is my life.
So what I'm doing to make it better, this asshole.
Honestly, I kind of even didn't vibe with you on that last one. It's impactful on my life. Like, girl,
if you don't
like,
stop.
I'm on your side, but at the same time, like, I'm gonna need for you to put a little more bass in your voice. Like, this is real, guys. I couldn't get my green smoothie in the morning.
Oh, jeez.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
that's how it sounded.
I went way too white girl with that one.
Yeah, I need my avocado toast in the morning.
I think it's because I've been doing
avocado toast is popping though. Don't come.
I make my own avocado toast. I'm paying no $16.
$16. That's ridiculous.
$16 for avocado
on
toast.
a piece of bread.
Really, nigga?
Yeah.
Who's paying that money?
The white girls.
Everyone.
The white girls?
Oh, and the white boys too.
And the white girls.
And some of us black girls too, but still.
Maddie's done it. Maddie's done it.
Maddie's done it. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I'm not hungry anymore.
What's in this avocado? That
legit is an avocado on some bread. Sometimes they'll put like olive oil and some seasonings. Damn. Other times they'll put like some brie and honey, and I mean they jazz it up a little bit, but for the most part it's like avocado.
For real? Like I know this
bread.
is sidetrack, but
it's like half. It's not even a whole avocado. That's the other thing. You
it's
get
only
like half of an avocado, sliced it up.
Yo, these Yakubians are really changing the game with this avocado shit, yo.
I mean, I used to just eat slices of avocado with dinner when I was little.
Because where we from, the islands, where it was native. It was just like avocado was nothing. And then you get here and it's just like, oh, it's like $5 for an avocado. It's like, this is ridiculous. And it's the small ones.
It's crazy. But yeah, so I think it's because I've been going to Pilates too much that I'm picking up this like white girl thing. But anyway,
she gets her acai bowls.
I actually did buy some acai at the supermarket
the
other day.
You've changed.
Legit, people are gonna listen to us thinking like, yo, they are bougie as hell, yo.
We never said we weren't.
We never said we weren't bougie.
Like, we gotta get back to our roots. Come on, let's go.
I mean, we still go to Brooklyn. Well, I still go to Brooklyn.
Wow, we still go to Brooklyn. Where? Williamsburg?
What?
Yeah.
Ew, no.
Gentrified Brooklyn.
You gotta go to Flatbush so that you can get the real Jamaican food, not from Golden Crust. You can fight me on this if you want to.
Yo.
About the legit places.
Wesley got mad excited.
Yo.
For Golden Crust?
No.
Basic ass.
Legit. Last night,
better.
Like if you turn around, you see that bag right there. It's full of jerk chicken. Last night,
Why is it on the counter?
Because it was mad hot. But that's besides the point. Don't even worry about that. Last night, I was just like, I gotta go to Pepper's to go get some jerk chicken. Lena D was just like,
What
I
the
can't
fuck?
be responsible. I can't co-sign this irresponsibleness with this money. I was like, I'm still going.
You know what I did? I stayed home and made avocado toast for myself.
Yup.
I'm over both of you.
Yeah. I legit went to Pepper's, got the 2 large things of jerk chicken.
At least you got
some,
2.
Yeah, and,
So that makes it worth it. I respect that.
and then I got some
Because then-
festival. And I was just like, I'm having this jerk chicken for like a good 3 or 4 days.
Absolutely.
The jerk chicken in Long Island City is fucking ass.
Trash.
It's trash. It sucks.
You
I
only
spent
get it.
mad money, and I was just like, "Yo, this meat tastes like fucking rat B. I'm throwing this shit out."
How you know what rat tastes like?
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's a weird reference.
I know it's a weird and washed reference.
And how big are the rats that you see? Because
You've seen these Subway
These
rats.
Subway rats are huge. I
All
don't
right,
think
anyway.
you've written the Subway in a bit, so maybe forgot.
I'm on the subway at least every other week.
Yeah, you're on
and
the path.
I'm,
though.
no,
It's clean.
I said subway, not path.
Oh, okay.
I know the difference. I'm from
I
here.
live here.
Like, I'm from here. I know the difference.
You be hitting.
I'm
them
not this person that's like, where's the train? And then doesn't know which train I'm trying to get to. Nah, don't fuck with me.
It's like, where are you trying to go? I thought that was just a train. No.
Okay.
All right, let's get back to your avocado
Sorry.
toast and how you can't have it anymore. So.
Yeah, that was
No, I
a
said
long
I
ass
make my
sidebar.
own.
Sorry, guys.
It was, I mean, it's true though. Who's buying $16 avocado toast? Maybe you should save that money.
All right.
Unless it comes
Anyway.
with bottomless brunch.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, that's different. If it's like $40 for the bottomless brunch, but then after that, it's like,
How much avocado can you have for $17? You know?
it's delicious.
Half. I just told you they give you half an avocado.
It's
That's
not
it.
enough. It's definitely not enough avocado.
Yo, man.
The
All right.
actual value of it is like $2.50. And sometimes I feel like they sprinkle on the everything, but the
Oh, from
bagel
the bagel?
seasoning
Yeah.
from Trader Joe's, that should be popping. I'm not gonna front. But that's how I make it when I'm at home.
Yeah.
Anyway, we
I
can
would-
talk about
if I
avocado
were to do
toast.
it, I'd do
Clearly,
like
forever.
the guacamole, and then I put like little bacon bits on them shits. Yo,
They do that too. They
Maybe
jazz. I'm
that's
saying they jazz it up. It's not just avocado on a slice of bread.
put a little chicken in there and shit.
Okay, now
Because now you
getting
can,
too
you,
fancy.
we're going way too far.
piece
This
of
is not
chicken.
Chipotle.
All right. Anyway.
You got to pay extra for the chicken.
Okay,
instead
so
of the guac.
Lena D. I can't stand it.
It's like, focus.
All right, sorry, my
Lena
bad,
D
my bad.
is managing people. Is not getting her avocado toast. Is getting them acai bowls popping though.
And she turning white because she going to Pilates and shit. All right, let's go. What's going on? What's next?
Yo, between spin and Pilates, like you can't tell us nothing.
Yeah.
People of color have now claimed those. Those are
Yes,
ours.
we're
now.
reclaiming them.
Yes.
Even though I'm literally like the only Latina that I see in the class all the time.
Oh, I'm
but
usually
whatever.
the only black person too. It's like, hey guys.
But how to make it better. So this is what I'm doing. It was actually it worked out really interesting. Like I went to a networking event because of the buffoonery. I was like, I should at least keep my options open.
Word.
But in one of the conversations at this networking event, there was a lady that was also going through like recent changes. She was like, yeah, like I'm not quite getting a promotion yet, but they're letting me manage this global team. And so I'm hoping it's like a stepping stone. And so she mentioned this book to me that I actually the day right after, like just downloaded it and started reading. And it's called The First 90 Days, Proven Strategies for Getting Up to Speed Faster and Smarter. And it's by Michael Watkins.
Nice.
And this book has been really helpful because even though you think you know what's going on in your work environment, there's actually so many different layers of how you can think about it, especially in a time of change. And there's things that you may be into the habit of doing all the time. And then sometimes there's things that you're just supposed to just take a reset on. And so what's really helpful with this book is that it's saying like, hey, if you're going through these changes, it's always good to kind of think about the formula that he outlines in the book. And he has you think about like the relationships, like what situation is this change? Like what type of situation is the change linked to? Like, is it something where it's going to be like growth or a turnaround, or like, do you have limited resources? And he goes through all these examples, and it actually almost gives you like a game plan of like what you want to be thinking about, of the types of conversations you want to be having with your manager to set the right expectations, as well as like the type as a new manager and a new leader, the types of conversations you should be having with your direct report so that you're kind of like getting on the same page.
Dope.
So I feel like it's been really helpful for me because I'm thinking about things proactively that normally I wouldn't proactively think about. So like, for example, it's like, well, in this new org, we'll have to be working with different teams. And so I've actually taken the time not just to meet with like my peers, but also like people below them, people above them. And so it's helping me structure at least like building the right relationship so that I'm not just going to like step into like a political landmine or things like that.
Word.
So I strongly suggest for anybody that feels like they're going through a big time of change and like their role is changing. Even if you're not getting a promotion, I still strongly advise that you're reading this book.
Yeah.
Because it helps you lay out your stuff and it almost gives you like a CYA for yourself so that you know that you've been asking the right questions. And then if like something changes again, like you at least have something to point to. And then the second thing was really making it a focus for me to stay healthy, especially with me knowing that I can't do my workouts in the morning, which is what I prefer. And I've been doing my Pilates workouts in the evenings, and I've like self-imposed a 30-day challenge on myself because I wanted to force myself to have a reason to go every single day. And so I'm a little crazy, so that works for me. It may not work for everybody.
You heard it here first.
But so it really works for me and it's keeping me accountable. But I think that whenever you're going through those crazy situations, you just need to take a step back and assess, what do I need? And then once you figure out what it is that you really need, like coming up with a plan that's going to keep you accountable to it so that you don't feel like, oh, well, like it's too crazy at work. I don't have time for this. It's like the big thing is like keeping that time for yourself there.
Facts.
So that's me.
I dig it. I like that. So my craziness has been pretty ongoing. It hasn't changed. It's just evolved. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like
as
it's been like for you too. It's been a while that it's been all over the place.
So I know we've talked about like the foolishness that was going on with my job in terms of I started a new role. It's been going on 2 years now. So August is going to make it 2 years. But the thing has been that it's in a new industry, in an industry that I had no experience or knowledge or understanding of whatsoever. And what happened essentially was that because of that, even though my boss hired me, like interviewed directly with her, she was the one that made the decision. I started feeling like she didn't actually trust me to do my job and to do it well. So there would be a lot of times that I would make a suggestion or present something and she would essentially just ignore it until it came up later on from somebody higher up than her. And
so
it's just
essentially
like,
she wasn't valuing the input you were bringing.
pretty much. So it's just like, I feel like in her head, she was like, oh, she's coming from this industry. She doesn't know how it works here. Because there were some things
like
where I'm
a
just
credibility thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was frustrating because I'm like, I'm doing this work. I know I'm good at my job, but you're not recognizing it. And you're essentially making me feel like, A, you don't like me. And for the longest time, I was just like, I'm going to get fired any day now because she's not taking anything that I say into consideration. It's making all of us look bad. So it finally got to the point where now she's realized like, oh, shoot, Maddie knows what she's talking about. There's value in what she was saying. It might not be how I would have done it, but I see like the value of it now. So now the thing is I'm getting more responsibilities. So it's just like, hey, remember that thing that you brought up a few months ago? We want you to spearhead that initiative now. I'm just like, hold up, wait a minute.
So they're basically putting more work on your plate now.
Because it's like they trust me. And it's just like, oh, so she does know what she's talking about. She does like have a vision for this. Yeah, let's just have Maddie do it. Remember that one report she did last time? Like, let's have her do all of these.
Oh, geez.
And I'm like, first of all, this is not in my job description.
This is like not what I'm supposed to be doing.
At all. There's a lot of things where I'm just like, this has nothing to do with what I'm supposed to be doing. So it's good that they're trusting me, but then it's like, I can't actually do my actual job. So it's been like, I've been pulled in a lot of different directions. So.
And is that what's causing like the craziness? Is that you're still doing, like you're actually still doing these things? It's not like they're going to find somebody else to do it. You're still having to be pulling these like new reports or
what it comes down to is
analysis.
Like we would have to hire somebody else, and they're like, yeah, we don't have the resources. So the one thing that I don't think I ever mentioned is that the department that I'm in is completely new. It's the innovations department. We've never had an innovations department in this company at all. So it's a lot of learning as we go, and for them, it was just like, oh, it seems like people are just making shit up. And I'm just like, they brought me in to actually set up processes like a project manager is supposed to do, and implement these changes. Like, okay, guys, this doesn't make sense. This does make sense. How did you do this before? It's like, oh, we've never done this. Okay. Technically, I should have a team, honestly. It shouldn't just be me. And some of the responsibilities that I've taken on now shouldn't even fall under project management or innovations. Like the dedicated IT team should be doing this, or marketing should be doing this. So we're like creating a new service or a product, and it's just like, okay, we need some market research. We need to know what our competitors are doing. We need to know things. And they're like, yeah, so Maddie, no.
It's like, I'm not a market research firm. Thanks.
Go to marketing. We have a marketing department. So it's just been a lot, just all coming down on me. And I'm just like, I miss the days where nobody trusted me and nobody really wanted me to do anything besides what I'm supposed to be doing. So yeah, it's been a lot. And then it's a global firm. So there's no straight 9 to 5. And I think anyone that works for a global firm across multiple departments knows how it is, where it's just like, you might have a call at 7 a.m. one day. You might have a call at 11 p.m. another day. You might have a 6 a.m. call and 11 p.m. call in the same day. Like there's no
in between sometimes.
Yeah. And then you're traveling and you're doing all this. So it's just like work-life balance essentially like went out the window for me for the longest time. So it's just like, I literally don't have the time. Like I don't. I called my mom once and she was just like, oh my God, you're alive. And I'm just like, first of all, you should have called me. And she was just like, I did. And I was like, oh shit, you're right, you did.
Oh crap, I missed that. I never even noticed.
And now she's like gotten into the habit of being like, so what country are you in today? And I'm like, Mom, I'm home. She's like, oh, all right. I'm not doing this with you. Yeah. But then there are times where she calls me and I'm just like, Mom, it's 2:00 in the morning here.
Oh, snap.
So sorry.
She's like, oh, you are somewhere this time.
Exactly. And it's just like, and me not thinking, oh, she doesn't know that I'm somewhere else. I'm like, it must be an emergency. And she's like, no, it's just calling us. Girl, get off. Goodbye.
It's like you woke me up. Thanks.
No, but so the past month or so has just been me trying to restructure it for myself. Like restructure my position, restructure how I work with my teams, all of that for myself, because clearly my boss ain't going to do it.
Right.
She's being pulled 1,000 different ways herself. And I think that's something that a lot of people have to take into consideration. You can't be afraid to just take that initiative yourself and be like, okay, look, y'all want to do this. This is what I'm going to do. You figure it out.
I really think you should read this book then, if you happen to have the time.
What's funny, I was just looking at the table of contents, and a lot of this is stuff that I've been doing. I haven't read this book, but I've read a lot of other books. I've been reading a lot of books on innovations and like building innovations. So that's the direction I've been going in, and then reading books on leadership and like team management, because again, I love my boss. She's a great person. She's not the most business-minded person, though. So I've taken over that.
So she's mostly focused on like the coming up with big ideas and like lofty goals.
She has all of these goals. And when it comes to like speaking with a client and selling, oh, she's phenomenal. Like she can create something, but then it's just like, how are you going to manage your team of people across the world to do this?
That's like the most important part too. Jeez.
Maddie, I got this. Like this isn't what I should be doing, but all right, I got this. So the ways I'm making it better is I'm learning more about the industry on my own. Because again, there was that, oh, you're coming from accounting and finance. What the hell do you know about this? And like literally nothing. So now I have to like go out there and learn about the industry and be like, hey guys, okay, I'm starting to get some expertise. So that builds more trust. And then creating my own work-life balance. So I can say, I'm signing off at this time. I am not signing back on until tomorrow morning.
Right. Creating the right expectations.
Like setting those boundaries have been imperative, because people, as long as people see you online, they'll be like, oh, you're available. I'm not here to answer your questions.
Yeah.
So it's setting those boundaries and then just creating my own balance. I know all over social media, it's just like self-love. Do what makes you happy.
Man.
But
that
right?
Wesley feels some type of way about that.
My initial reaction too, but then it's just like, no, this is actually really important. So for you, it's like setting that time to work out. For me, it's just like having time off of social media, having time off of my phone, the computer, just reading a book that has nothing to do with nothing. Like, or just whatever I feel like reading about.
Right. Or like whatever you're like trying to build yourself. Because I mean, you are building yourself up in a way that, you know, not everybody always takes the time to learn the industry or to think about. Like, obviously your boss is like, oh, well, Maddie will just do it. But like in her role, she really should be learning how to guide her team. Like she should be applying herself to do that shit, not have somebody else do it for her.
So it's all of that. So those boundaries and then making the time. And honestly, and I know so many people have been talking about it, but I'm a big proponent of therapy. Like I've been seeing a therapist for over a year now, that I really, really like. I've seen others before where it's just like,
you don't connect quite way.
Yeah. But this one, I'm just like, this my homie. I'm gonna go talk to her, and she calls me out on my foolishness. She's like, "Why would you do that?" I'm like, I don't know.
Wow.
So
Wait, can I get her number?
Absolutely, but she's not one of those typical therapists where it's just like, "So tell me how you're feeling right now." Like, nah, that's not that wouldn't work.
That's not
with
how
me.
it works.
Yeah, that would not work with me. So does
she have some melanin?
She has a whole lot of it.
Okay, good.
That was one of my requirements. So it was just like, I can't.
Can I really get her number?
Oh,
now?
I'm so serious. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm serious.
So between therapy, setting boundaries, and just like focusing on what actually makes me happy is how I'm getting through this, and how I haven't cut anybody yet or cursed anyone out or been sent to HR.
Which we must stay the path on that.
Because, you know, I'm the only Black person within my department. So it's imperative that I don't be that Black woman. Yeah, so that's my update. That's what's happening with me.
That's good. I think if you have the list of the books, since we kind of went on this like book trend, we should probably share it with our listeners to see if they can get some benefits from it.
I'll definitely
too.
send it over.
All
right, Wesley. Well, tell us about your craziness.
I'm not only I don't know what y'all they're talking about books. My therapy is cursing people out. So here we go.
You stupid.
They're not.
Hey, I said whatever works for you. I read. Lena D works out. Wesley cuts a bitch.
Yeah. So
one size does not fit all.
It does not. It doesn't.
It's not a Leatherman. So without really going into too much depth about where I work, so I work for I'll say a government entity that's as far as I'm going to go. So this government entity is moving.
You work for the CIA.
Yes.
He
Jack Ryan out here.
Yeah. So this
Tom Cruise up in this bitch.
Yeah. So this government entity is
Who's that one? What did Matt Damon play? Shit.
Oh,
who was that one? That was that one. Born. Jason Bourne.
Jason Bourne. So
he old at it.
He's super old. But what's happening is that they've been scheduling this move for a couple years now. Whatever. We had this years. You'll understand why. So it's always been, oh, we're moving, then we're not moving. Oh, we're moving, then we're not moving. So everything's always been in flux for whatever fucking reason.
The reason why I look at you like that is because the dingbats in my office planned to move for the entire office within like 3 months.
Yeah.
And relied on one person who ended up quitting. So we're fucked. So it's like, oh, y'all are taking years? Damn. I would take that over a few months.
A month of planning.
Any day.
But here's the thing, though. The person who was I guess he was our group leader or the team leader or whatever, was very ineffective and just made rash decisions about he never really planned for the future. And that was like one of my things with him. Huh? What happened?
I just said, what the fuck?
Yeah. Just like everything was just always like, you know, this guy never looked 5 minutes ahead of himself. So with that being said, me and him, we've gotten into it. to a point where I've actually cursed him out a couple times.
Lord.
And there have been people that have been there and I've cursed them out.
He said, I'll do this with the audience.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I will do this with an audience. I will do this in front of you. I will do this just me and you alone. I don't like you. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like you, Sam. I was all that. And then some. To a point where I had an issue. Nothing that I had done.
How haven't you been fired?
No. Okay, so here's the thing. So
He has a nice little foundation.
I have a foundation. So like,
He's like, I'm cool with the chicken HR.
Everyone knows how aggressive I am at work about getting things done. I'm not up your like as a manager. I'm not up your ass about what the hell is you doing on your computer. I'm not up your ass about why are you on watching that YouTube video. I'm not up your ass about none of that. As long as you get your task done, I'm not a micromanager. You can do whatever you want. But make sure that everything that you do is done. Fine. Okay. So I was always pretty good about getting stuff done on my own, blah, 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 whatever. So as a government worker, you have to take certain civil service exams. So in my case, I didn't get a full 100 because I messed up on the exam because I didn't put a bunch of different experience or whatever. That's fine. But everybody that was in the group that was not this guy was just like, yo, this messed up. We gotta find a way to keep him, blah, blah, blah. So this had been going on for a year because again, government kind of does move slow.
Kind of.
So it came up to a point where they had to like, they were starting to let go people because they didn't either pass the test or they didn't get that 100, which is like the ceiling really. And then they found a way to keep me or whatever. I guess this was the only guy, that team lead who was just like, nah, we should just let him go, blah, blah, blah. Everybody else around him was just like, everybody else was just like, no, we're keeping him. Like, I don't know.
They need you.
We need him. So it turns out 2 years later, he ended up getting fired. Because of, again, ineffective decisions. And then he started pissing people off. He started he started retaliating against his own staff members.
For all those haters out there, suck my ass because you're no good and better than everybody else.
And people just started ratting him out.
That's a good way to get people on your side.
Yeah.
The fuck is he
So
doing?
he got fired. But in the midst of all this, he was controlling the decisions that went into this move. Let me tell you guys, this guy did not plan for the amount of power that we needed in our data center. And for people who have been inside a data center, you need a lot of power to make things work. So the type of power that he got was all messed up. Never planned out anything that was supposed to go inside the data closets on each floor. Each floor in your respective places always has a place where when you walk by it, it's really loud. There's a reason why it's really loud is because there's equipment in there that makes your internet work, that makes your phone work, that makes everything work. So he didn't plan.
Ours is a closet.
Yeah. So he didn't plan anything in there. He didn't plan the right type of racks to put in there, basically where to put all the equipment.
Yeah.
Didn't plan the power that was supposed to go in there. So these rooms were like afterthoughts of the afterthought. So we've been having to correct all these crazy ass issues. The cabling. So normally in IT, when you get cables to be done, you want the cables to be done on the back end where it's like from your desk to that particular closet. And you want them to give you the other part, which is the wire that comes out that connects to your equipment.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get that cable that comes from that to there. Usually you don't do that. You let them do that. And then they roll with that. So that's been, again, more money. What else? Not to mention the fact that we bought a bunch of things that we didn't need. The vendors who come in, who won the contract out to kind of help us out through this process, aren't really like picking up the slack, so much so that I have to pick up the slack. It's been to a point where for certain items, I've had to spend my own money.
Fuck that.
Yeah, so I have to go in. I still haven't done this. I got to put in like a expense report for my reimbursement for that shit. So this has been like this secret project of hell. I guess what makes it good is that the person who is now the team lead is like 150 times better than the guy that we had. He was our project management manager before, but then
PMs rule the world, baby.
But then what was happening was that the guy who was the team lead, the project manager, rolled up to him. What the team lead would do is that he never did any work. So he would just give the work to the project manager and give the work to like someone else for them to do.
Boss.
So it was also to a point where a couple of us have caught this team leader sleeping in his room in his actual office. So we'd knock and we go in. He'd be coming up. He'd like, not he'd be coming up. So we'd go into the room and he would like wake up like with the cat eyes and shit. Like, oh, yo, hey, what's going on? Rubbing his eyes and stuff. Like he'd just been sleeping and shit. So a lot of times when some people would ask, hey,
how y'all rolling up into this man's office without knocking first? No, y'all disrespectful as shit.
We would knock first and then we would enter.
No, you enter when I say come in.
Yeah.
Fuck you do it.
It's like, okay, fair warning, we're coming in.
Yeah, we're coming in. Bust in.
I'd be mad as hell if I was him. I'm just saying.
So
did I tell you to go get out?
To a point where like I had this joke, I would say it and I wouldn't care. I don't care who was there. Where they'd be like, oh, where is I don't know. Shit. Where's Mike? I'd be like, oh, he's probably in his room masturbating. I don't know. Like, because his door was always closed. You're like, well, what's he doing? He's not doing
minding his own damn business.
Well, clearly, because he wasn't doing any of the work. You would email him, he wouldn't respond, and then would swear up and down that you never sent him an email. Then you got to collect receipts. You know, the most embarrassing.
My last email, which I have attached for your reference.
Those are the most embarrassing kinds of emails that you should get from someone else. You know why?
Everybody.
Because you're not doing shit.
Because number one, you send an email that has another email attached to it, which says what you were supposed to do. Those are embarrassing. You know why? That tells you that
you were not doing.
You weren't doing your job.
You weren't doing shit.
I love sending those emails. I'd be quick to send
what
those.
The fuck? So, with that being said,
and I CC everybody.
Yeah,
because everybody about to know this foolishness. That's just me.
I'm always like Neely D has seen some of my emails. I'm on email gangster mode. With this guy, with that guy in particular,
Wesley's
I was on
like the email OG
gangster mode. I'm over here like he would ask like, so he would say certain things, and then I would just be like, "Why?" ? What are you doing? And then he would respond with this bullshit response. I'd be like, "No, that's not right. This is how we're supposed to do it.
That's not right.
And this is what we discussed as per our conversation at at this
in front
time.
of the water cooler.
Yes.
When you was wearing that purple shirt that everybody told you was ugly.
You know, I have actually taken shit that far too.
It's like start adding all the details.
That's how you know we family, because we both petty as fuck.
I'm just like,
all
but
the details.
And I promised myself, I was like, okay, this year's gonna be a new year.
Okay,
I know
so
he's
now
gonna
he's
leave.
gone.
I know he's gonna leave, but I was just like, never again will I ever have someone emotionally hijack me like that, because I do not like him professionally or personally. Now, I can always like somebody professionally, but I may not like their personal attitude.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We don't have to grab drinks,
I don't have,
but we can work together.
Right. Luckily for me, I can work with anybody. But I was just like, this year, 2019, I won't let somebody do that ever again. To the point where
Boundaries,
I've been pretty low key reserved. You know what? You asked me to do something. I know I'm not really supposed to be doing no shit like that. I'm gonna do it anyway. You know why? Because that's what the team needs from me. I'm a leader of a team. I gotta make it happen. Just like if some bullshit happens with the team members who somehow fuck up, which almost never happens, which I'm happy about, I'll take the blame. Like I wasn't there, but you know what? Maybe blah, blah, blah happened. And then sure enough, if I check in one of the guys, they're like, well, they told me to do this. I got the email. So I did it. I don't understand. And I'll go back to the person who said what they needed to say. I'll show them the email. I'll be like, hey, look, this is what they did. You told them to do this at this time. So what's the problem? And I'll give them that look like, what's the problem? Do you have, is there anything you'd like to say for yourself? Yeah, I go ham sandwich for my team. My team members, I'll go ham for. Other people's teams, some other from the back. Like, I'm not doing that for you. Damn! I'm not doing that. So that's another thing. But what I've learned this year is that, one, I need to kind of stow the attitude a little bit. But that's because I know everybody says I'm great at what I do. That's fine. The second thing is that I gotta hold these vendors accountable because it's kind of killing me because I've been working like 14, 15-hour days, and I've been used to it before. But as you get older, that shit gets old real fast, and I'm not trying to do that. And I'd rather sit here and scratch my balls and watch TV. I know that's a little TMI, but I would rather do that way more than like working like 14-hour days.
I mean, no one wants to work 14-hour days.
I'm lifting shit like, you know, my feet hurt, my fucking back hurts, my shoulders all in pain.
All right,
because, like shit like that. You know,
well, however you want to pronounce her name. Talk about his neck and his back. All right, we get it, sir.
No, legit. I've had to go to a chiropractor. Oh no, I know. Go to a chiropractor. I've had
you got
to go
a little brace.
No, I didn't get the brace, but I got like the
belt thing,
the corrective whatever they do, what the chiropractors do or whatever to like.
Oh, when they be like bear hugging you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got that. I've had to go to podiatrist because I got like plantar fasciitis on my foot. So
did they give you a boot?
No, they didn't give me a boot.
They gave you a shot.
They gave me the shot.
Ugh.
Yeah, but the lady was pretty cool. She was
took
like,
the boot.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't want no
she
shot.
sprayed some. It was a huge needle, but she sprayed some ice shit. The needle's real thin. She sprayed some ice stuff on my foot. She was like, and it wasn't going in. That felt bad. It was pulling it out a little bit. I was like, ooh, that hurts. I feel that. Stop.
I took that boot. I was just like, no.
Are you afraid of needles too?
I am terrified. Well, I think he knew I was a punk though, because he was just like, if your foot doesn't get better by the next time I see you,
you gotta get the
we're gonna have to give you a shot. And I was like, okay, no problem. And he's like, with this, and I was like, it will be better in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Why? Because you had to keep off your foot or something in order for it to get better.
And then he gave me like an ointment and all that shit. He's like, you just like, I'm on it. I was like, I'm not taking that shot.
I would say that the shot is great.
Everyone who's done it is like,
awesome.
It works. I don't care.
It's very effective.
I had to convince Wesley because he was like, I don't know, I might just take that boot. And I was like, you're gonna keep going over there racking up this medical bill, you better take that shot.
Yeah. I hobbled around in my boot for mad long. I was just like, I don't care. I'm taking on responsibilities. I'm not gonna say on the podcast just in case somebody's listening that's at work that I shouldn't be taking on. That's all I'm saying. I feel like that's the common thing between all of us. All of us is like, I'm doing shit I'm not supposed to be doing. They're not paying me enough for this bullshit.
For real.
But I'm killing it. Yeah. So it's just okay, we gonna keep on.
I'm really not getting paid for the stuff that I've been like really putting in. And I'm not saying that I'm less than anybody else because everybody on the team is really putting in a lot. I say, like, yo, at the end of this, there may be some raises coming around, yo, because the stuff that we're doing, it's in the vendor's contract that they're supposed to be doing, and we're doing it because we have this accelerated deadline. Oh, and mind you, this is the last thing that pissed me off. We're supposed to, like, everybody's supposed to move on Lena D's birthday.
Yeah, so they planned it on my birthday, so he's not going to be around for my festivities.
Can I point out that they probably didn't know it was your birthday? So.
Well, I think Wesley tried and said he said something and they still can't finagle it. So I said that
Is there any way you could get out of it? Like,
no,
at least for the day?
Because I got to be there when they change shit over. So.
Yeah, but I don't think that was like a direct attack. Like, ooh, you know what day we should do it?
No, it wasn't. No, that wasn't a direct attack. It just happened. That's where the chips fell. So.
But that's what happens when you don't plan appropriately.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous.
Because it's on a Friday, so they're essentially working
through
all
the
day
weekend.
Friday.
Through the whole weekend. Yeah.
That's how our move was also.
So,
yeah.
It's just.
They're like, oh, Maddie, can you come in on Saturday? No.
He's like, no.
Definitely not.
It's just like, I will not. I'll find somebody to do it, but I'm not going to be there.
Yeah. The only like silver lining in all of this is that like I took another civil service exam and we're supposed to be picked up under that particular title. So that title will effectively reinstate the OT. So that way we get paid for our overtime.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it'll be my salary plus the overtime that I'm supposed to get, which I'm hoping it happens very sooner rather than later.
You're talking 12 to 15-hour days. Hell yeah, get that OT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that is much required.
Yeah.
So last point before we wrap. Another thing that I think we all had in common was talking about putting boundaries in place. So one book that I really enjoyed was Boundaries by Henry Cloud and John Townsend. Honestly, it's a really good book. they made a whole freaking series out of it. It's like boundaries for leaders, boundaries for dating, boundaries for parents, all that. But boundaries for leaders and just boundaries are both really good in terms of managing those kinds of relationships with people. So whether it's coworkers, vendors, bosses, all of that, it's really good. And how to have difficult conversations.
Oh, that's
100%.
a good one.
That's a really good one.
That's a good one. I actually
we'll create a list of
we'll create a list of this stuff, because like these are like the things that you can do to invest in yourself and just make the most out of the situation you've been handed.
Yeah, for real.
Without having it be taxing on you mentally or physically or
physically. This shit's been taxing.
Yeah.
Being getting sick and shit. I sound sick.
And that's
now.
the other thing. Like, you realize just how much taking on all of this stress affects you. Because Wesley was sick recently. I was sick earlier in May. Ridiculously so. Where it's just like, oh no, it's just allergies.
Yeah.
Like, nah, bro.
Nah, you
ain't
ain't
allergies.
You can't use that excuse anymore.
I was just like, I woke up with the runny nose. I was just like, yo, but I take my allergy medicine, so I'll be all right. So I'm walking around and stuff. My nose is leaking and stuff. I'm like, this not normal.
Feel right.
So like my throat felt like a cat scratched it like the night before. So I'm like, okay, this is not normal. So I wake up the next day. This is the Thursday. I feel like shit, but I'm like, yo, I'm do this. I'm just gonna do this, and it's gonna be good. So
he
throat
hadn't said anything.
worse. Man.
And that's the thing. You're so used to it. So you're like, oh, I could push through.
I could push
so
through.
That's what
this.
I did too.
Yeah.
And then finally was like, I need to go to a doctor.
And then finally, like, I just broke down on Friday. I was like, you ever get that feeling where like
your body's telling you to sit the fuck down?
Well, not really that, but it's like
that
you will yourself through it, and then finally, when you get home, you just say, yo, man, let the sickness just take over. Like, that's literally
your body saying, sit the fuck down.
Yeah, I'm gonna let these germs take over for a little while, and then I'm gonna heal you.
Your
But you gotta
I'm tired.
You gotta be at your low before I put you back up again.
Yeah.
That's what I gotta do right now. We gotta shut you down.
And I think it was like past midnight, and I was like, you're not going to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
I was like, you need to stay home. Send that email out. He's like, oh, I don't know. It's like, Wesley, stay your ass home.
Put yourself first, guys. Like, between boundaries and just taking care of yourself. These jobs, legit, if we keel over and die tomorrow, they will step over our bodies and find somebody else.
Just find someone else.
Take care of yourself.
And like, I used this service called teledoc.com. It was great. Saw the doctor while I was in bed. I told him exactly what my symptoms were. He told me exactly what I needed to do. Gave me a doctor's note. And that shit was like 15 minutes. Didn't have to step out of my house for nothing. So it was great.
There are ways.
Yeah.
Like, they take insurance?
Yeah.
Bomb. There we go. Even better.
Yeah.
Nah, there should be
Matter of fact, the insurance that I have, Empire GHI, actually sent us something saying, we have this new service called Teledoc. We've signed up with them. As soon as I like set up my account.
Anthem sent me one. I ignored it.
Nah, no. Don't ignore that.
Look at
it. Like, it's gonna be the day you sick. You can be like, man, I don't want to get the fuck out of this apartment or to get out of this house or whatever. You gonna be like, let me sign up for this. But then when you sign up, when you put your name and you put like your email address, it immediately comes through with all the information that they got from Anthem or whatever insurance company you have, and then you go through the process. I went through the process the same day, and then my consultation was scheduled 2 hours later after I'd signed up.
Nice.
And then
That's
the doctor
dope.
was just like, hey, because you have pharyngitis, which is like a step below strep, you're just going to have to take a lot of fluids and go get like an anti-inflammatory for your throat. Sure enough, I take Advil. He's like, take 3 every 6 hours. Next day, I feel great. I'm like, my throat is like 10 times better than it was.
That's
so,
dope.
yeah.
That's what's up. But you got to stay healthy now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
the whole purpose is to stay healthy.
Of course.
We're glad these resources are available, but we kind of don't want to have to use them.
Nah,
this is the
for
first time I had to use my insurance, like, since I've gotten it. And I'm just like, I'm at the doctor. Like, so much this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it was the same thing. Like, my body was just like, stop. Like, stop.
Yeah. You
Sit
need
the fuck
to
down. Relax.
Daytime
And
TV
if
sucks.
you don't do it, you're going to be forced to do it. Word, I remember when there was like all these judge shows, Jerry Springer, all this stuff.
That's some bullshit now. Drew Carey's now on The Price is Right. That shit don't even feel right when I look at Drew Carey and he's on The Price is Right. Sorry, my bad.
That sounded like real personal.
It is real personal.
And he's been on it for mad long now.
I know. I still
That's how
want
you know
Bob
you
Barker.
haven't had time to watch it because he's been on it for like a good 5 years.
Seriously? 5 years?
He's been on
Like,
it for a
whoa,
minute.
he didn't get the memo on that
yo.
one.
Hold
I didn't get
on.
the
Let
memo
me
on
find
this
it
one.
for you.
I
Let
was
me
like,
double check because
yo.
you know I like to check myself.
I
Drew
watched
Carey.
The Price is Right, and I was like, why is Drew Carey on this shit? And then I watched it again. I was just like,
He's still on this?
Where's Bob Barker?
Yo, my man's Bob Barker left forever ago.
Seriously?
Since 2007.
Yo.
It's been over 10 years.
This is how you know I work crazy. The fact that I didn't know that Bob Barker was not the host of The Price is Right should tell you, like,
12 years, my man's. 12.
It's been a while.
I don't watch daytime TV because I'm not at home.
I don't either.
That's the thing. Like, if I'm at home, if I get here like in the early afternoon, I'll probably watch Judge Joe Mathis. I'll probably watch Judge Judy or some bullshit like that before some real shit comes on that I like.
Yeah,
But
I'm not
that's
gonna
it.
front. I
I
would
just
still be
stream
watching
stuff.
Arthur.
If
If I had the opportunity, I would still be on them PBS cards.
For
Are
real.
those still
Or I'll
on?
watch like what was the other one? The divorce court with the black lady judge. She's gangsta. I love her.
You sound like an old
Yeah,
retiree because
I
Natalie
love
and Deer,
I
like,
was
we
like,
don't know what you're
ooh.
talking
I was
about.
like, I just stream stuff. Like, does anybody go on
Nah.
Netflix to just find something to
Yeah,
watch?
you know, sometimes I go
I'm
on.
saying, if I was ever to like turn on the television,
Yeah.
I would prefer to just be watching. I'd get down with some Arthur, some Wishbone ain't on, but you know what I
Or
mean.
Ghost Rider. I wish
Like,
Ghost Rider come back.
Yo,
I feel like we could
Carmen
find these
Sandiego.
Yeah.
I know most of them are on
shows. Like Netflix or Hulu or something.
Yeah.
But they're on
Sidebar:
there.
have you guys seen the previews for that Dora the Explorer movie?
No,
Yes,
haven't
I
seen
want
it.
to low key go see it.
Okay.
I'm really excited.
Look-
Is it messed up that is it messed up that is the Latina chick that wants to go see it? I don't know how I feel about it. I still have very mixed feelings.
So I didn't recognize the girl. Like, I had questions about whether she was really like Latina.
She's like, who is she? Is she?
But I recognized the like her parents and stuff. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I'd go see it.
And then they have Diego being some big ass dude. I was like, what is happening here? I felt away. Boots looks dirty as hell.
Wow.
Like, it was just a lot going on. Anyway, I just had to ask about that.
Well, I just got excited because of the cast being like Latinx, but
I did appreciate that. That I appreciated. But then the whole storyline is where they lost me. And it was just like, damn, I really want to support all black and brown people, but y'all tried it.
I never watched the
show?
so I don't have a context of like whether or not it's like on point or not with the story.
So clearly, you guys now know that I'm a big ass kid at heart. Because I am personally offended
Man,
that you never watched.
I still don't
Dora the
understand why
Explorer.
they come out with the Tokyo Ghoul movie on DVD.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh wait, which movie?
Tokyo Ghoul. Remember they came out with the live action movie after we went to
Yeah.
Comic Con that other year?
Yeah, we went to see it in the
Yeah,
movies.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna come out on Blu-ray, and I haven't seen it.
Oh well, it's international film, so
Oh.
you
Can
probably
you
have to like
fail
find
that
it.
hard that you don't even come out on
No,
DVD
it
or
was pretty
Blu-ray?
good.
No, it was
actually.
good.
I'm
It
messing
was
with
really,
you.
I don't know. All I'm saying, yeah, man.
When did that come out?
It was a
2000?
couple years.
That's not why people
ago.
are listening to this podcast.
No,
right
really.
now.
Yeah,
But
this is
sorry,
my anime
guys.
channel.
Sorry,
My bad.
guys.
If y'all want to hear some anime talk, though, we can do it. But I don't. That's
Clearly.
not why y'all here.
Y'all know we have the attention span of gnats. Apologies.
It's
wait.
also
Oh, wait.
because like we haven't recorded together in a while.
Last thing, live action Avatar, The Last Airbender, gonna be on Netflix in a couple years. I just want
Nobody wants to see that.
What? You serious?
That movie was trash.
No, the movie was trash.
but the
But
series
the
is really
the
good.
live action series of
Okay,
that?
you should have said that.
I did, the
No,
series.
you said the live action Avatar. So I thought you meant the movie.
Oh no, the movie was
That's what
The
I
movie
like.
was
movie was
terrible.
super
Movie
trash.
was trash.
movie was
Um,
extra trash. Don't even
Right.
want to talk about that ever.
That's why I got so offended when you said like, "Oh, it's gonna be on net." Nobody wants to see that shit.
That was a piece of shit. It's
Like,
funny.
Netflix should get their money back if they put that shit on.
The place that I used to work at, before the job that I'm at right now, her father owns Tryon Partners, and I used to work there. And every time I see him and I see the daughter, a little petty in me when I see the daughter and be like, I just wanted to tell you that Avatar was trash. I low key wanted to say that every time I saw her, but I was like, nah, let me chill. I'm gonna get
because
fired.
everybody knows that movie.
Yeah.
Was trash.
I'm pretty sure she knows it
She
too.
knew that movie was trash. She don't need to be reminded.
Yo, that movie is.
Everybody that played in that movie was just like, man, this is gonna be bad.
Yo, that movie was a dumpster fire, B. I just wanted to let you
It
know.
was just bad.
So bad.
And your acting, you need a lot of work. A lot of people need to work. Beyonce need a little work in her acting. She gets better every time she's on screen, but you need Jesus.
Oh shit.
So with that
And
being
with
said,
that
with that being said, I've just insulted just about almost everybody. So do not come after my life because I will curse you out too. So
clearly he has shown he don't care about nobody's feelings.
I don't care about no one's feelings. I tell the truth. And when you know me, you know that I love to tell the truth. It's in a funny way, but my man, you need to know. You need to know you ain't shit.
It's in their best interest, right?
It's in your best interest to know.
It's not
stuff
even
about
from a
yourself.
place of love. It's just because you need to know this shit was
And I would not expect anything less if you come at me like Maddie come at me all the time.
All the time.
I don't get offended.
It's entertaining.
It's cool.
It's
And
legit.
she be telling me like, "Yo, you ain't shit," and I'm like, "You know what?
You're right. Exactly.
So on that note, signing out. Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Later, Gators.
Bye.